Okay guys, hello, welcome back. I'm just creating this video for those who have updated or beginning to go through their mods and they want playlists but they lost playlists and all that. So with the new updates, Beat Saber playlists have disappeared, and if you've never had playlists, welcome to playlists. They do exist. So first of all, before we get started, for those who have no idea about modding and you just started modding, let's spend 60 seconds going through this. If you want to mod Beat Saber, you need to download Mod Assistant, and you need to make sure that you have everything set up correctly. So make sure you have this set, you have the correct version select. If you have 1.6.2 or 1.6.1 or 1.7, select 1.6.1. The mods all work for those, but if you have a lower version, which probably shouldn't, then you would select your lower version. Then make sure you have any mods you want checked and install or update. In order for this video to work, if you want to follow this video, you need to have Songcore installed. Make sure you have Songcore installed. If you've already installed Songcore, make sure that if you've just updated to a new version, say you just upgraded to 1.7 and you were on 1.6.2, make sure you uninstall all your mods and then reinstall them and make sure you have Songcore installed. It is required for playlists to work if you want to follow this method. Plus, it's kind of an important mod to be installed anyways. So make sure you have that installed. Make sure you have playlists downloaded. You can get playlists from a bunch of different places. Make sure you have some downloaded. Playlists are how they get songs inside of Beat Saber, well, custom songs I should say. And make sure that you have run Beat Saber at least once until you get to the song list. Now, what I'm talking about is you have to get past the part where it asks you to accept and the part where it asks you to choose a game mode. Make sure you have chosen a game mode. I usually go party mode. Make sure you've gone in there and that the mods have loaded. Then exit Beat Saber, completely close it. And you should have everything needed to continue this video. Now, actually there's one more thing you need. You need songs. Make sure that you don't just have songs, playlists, but you actually have the songs downloaded. Now, if you're wondering where you actually get songs from and all that jazz, I would suggest you search online, or you could come to this lovely Beat Saber, or you could come to Beat Saber, and you can turn around and download these songs if you want. But no matter how you want to do it, you need to have songs, and you need to make sure that those songs are downloaded to your Beat Saber custom levels folder. These are songs, you need to have them. You don't need these exact ones, but you need to make sure that your songs are in a folder format and they are inside of your custom levels folder. And to get to this folder, you will need to go to your Beat Saber location. Now, I'm using Oculus. My Beat Saber location is under my second hard drive, under my Oculus folder, which is the folder that contains all the Oculus stuff. Then once you're under there, it's under software, and then this huge name. Then you will be in the root folder for Beat Saber, and you will have all these folders. If you're on Steam, then it could be under your Steam library, wherever your Steam library is, under the Steam apps, under Common, and then it would list Beat Saber in here, which I don't think I have installed. Oh, I do have installed. It'll list Beat Saber, and then you're right back to being in the root folder of Beat Saber with the same folders. So that's the quick and dirty version. Make sure you are at this point before you continue this video. Once you are at that point, you are at the point where you can have playlists. So let's go ahead and continue. We're going back to our Oculus folder because that's the one that I use. Even though I have Beat Saber on Steam, I use Oculus. So once you're inside of here, you've got your songs, you've got your playlist, and you're all set up. You've run Beat Saber. Welcome to Beat Saber modding, and welcome to the point where everybody, regardless of whether you're new to modding or not, should be at. So once we're at this point, we basically need to go ahead and create some playlist folders. Now, we're using Songcore, but Songcore, as of the latest updates, no longer lists your playlists at the bottom, but it does allow us to go ahead and specify folders and treat them like playlists. That is exactly what we're going to do today, so follow along. First thing we need to do is, now that we have our playlist, we have our songs, we're good to go. If you go into your playlist folder, you are going to see all your playlists. If you don't have anything in this folder yet, then you have not created playlists and you need to go and either create playlists or download playlists. I would recommend just finding playlists online and downloading them, and then you need to get the songs for those playlists. So, if you're in this playlist folder and you do already have playlists, but they're just not showing up, we are in a good position. So go ahead and for every playlist that you have here, go ahead and create a new folder and name it the playlist name. So this is Anniversary Song Pack. It is for this playlist. You can name it whatever you want. I name mine the exact same name as I want my playlist to be named, just to make it easy to identify. But go ahead and create a new folder that is exactly the name that you want for each playlist. Once you have these folders created, go ahead and continue this video. So once you have those playlist folders created, you need to get your songs. So if you go back to your custom levels song under Beat Saber data, you're going to have all your songs that you've downloaded. If you don't have anything in here, you have not downloaded songs, you need to get your songs before continuing. So once we're at the songs, we need to go ahead and copy, well, we need to move those songs, not copy. So go ahead, and the quickest way to do this is to open a new window on any of these folders, make sure that they are side by side, and then we need to go ahead and on one side, we went back too far. We need to go ahead and make sure that the playlist folders are pulled up, and on the other side, we need to make sure that the custom levels are pulled up. Now, what you're going to want to do is, if you don't already know the songs that are inside of this playlist, you can view it multiple ways. You can either right-click, open with Notepad, and then it'll give you all that playlist info. So it'll give you the playlist title if you want to use that, and it will, at the very bottom, give you the song names that are supposed to be inside of that playlist. So what you're going to want to do is figure out how you want to view the playlist. Either open the file or use Beat Drop to view each playlist. And then you want to search for each song that is supposed to be inside of there. So go ahead and look for each song that is listed here, but look for it in your custom levels folder. Now, for example, if this song was inside of this Anniversary Song Pack playlist, we would go inside the Anniversary Song folder and we would I keep saying copy, but we want to cut. So we would move this essentially into this folder and cut it and don't leave any backups or duplicates inside of the custom levels folder. And we would do that for every single song that's in that playlist. Then, once we have the songs inside of our playlist folder, you would go in and you would go into any of the songs. It doesn't matter which one. You could go into this one if you wanted. And you want to copy, don't cut, don't move, copy the cover.png or the cover folder, or sorry, photo, and we want to paste it at the root level playlist folder. Now, it's easier if you use JPG, but it doesn't really matter. I always use JPG just because it makes things a whole lot easier. And you want to make sure it's called cover.jpg and not anything else. Sometimes it's named something else. You don't want it to be named something else in this case. And it could be. It is valid to have it named something else. But just to make things a heck of a lot easier, we want to make sure at this point that it is always named cover.jpg, which is as simple as going into a folder and copying one that has cover.jpg to here. Now, what we just did is create a playlist folder with all the songs that are supposed to be in it. And this cover.jpg that we copied over is going to be the background for the playlist that is displayed in Beat Saber. It can be whatever you want. If you don't like this cover and you want to make it whatever you want, you can right-click Edit and then change it to be whatever you want and save it. But the important thing to know is that this is going to be what you see as the background for this playlist. Now, once we have that, go ahead and make sure you do that for all of your playlists. And once you got that far, you have created the folder structure that we need. Now we need to tell Songcore about those folders. So what we're going to do is go back to the song or to Beat Saber's folder. We're going to go into user data. And we're going to go into the Songcore folder. Inside the Songcore folder, we're going to have a folders.xml. Now, you need to right-click, and you need to open with, and we need to say Notepad. Make sure it's Notepad, or if you want to get fancy, Notepad++. Basically anything that will not wrap these lines, because we don't want this text to be wrapped. We want to view it as that, no matter how far over it goes. Now, this is what mine looks like. Yours will not look the same as mine, because yours will have a bunch of examples. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch. It'll have two. And it will list two examples that we don't really care about. The examples don't really do anything for us. It's just telling us how we can set up this file. So yours will look like this. You're going to have a comment here. This is an XML file if you don't know, and if you do know, it simply lists the folders that Songcore will look for, and it tells you here what each element or each tag, you could call it, is and what it's used for, but it doesn't really explain it very well, so I'll go ahead and explain it to you real quick. But yours will look like this. You will have two examples unless you've already edited this file previously. Now, what I need you to do is either delete those examples, or you can go ahead and edit them, make sure that they match what I'm about to tell you. You need to have one of these. So you need to have a folder that begins at the folder and ends at the slash folder. That's considered a single folder, and what that's referring to is if we go back to our playlist, it's this folder. So for each one of these folders that we have listed here, you're going to have a folder section in this XML file. So we have the Anniversary Song Pack, then we have Beat Saber Goes 90, and so on and so forth, where all of our playlist folders. You need to copy and do the same exact thing. You need to have a folder section for every one of your playlists. Now, before you go copy-pasting randomly, I suggest you edit the first one first. Now, the name is going to be the playlist name that you want to see inside of Beat Saber. You need to have a path to this folder. Now, this is the folder's path, and it is the fully qualified name, meaning you need to start at your drive letter and go all the way to whatever the path of that folder is. So for me, that is my second hard drive, Oculus software, the Beat Saber folder, and then playlist and this song, or this folder. Now, don't go any further than that playlist folder. Do not try to list a song. Do not try to list a specific file. Just go for this folder path. Then for pack, we want two. Two tells Songcore that we want to load it as its own playlist, and we don't want to put it under the WIP playlist or the custom songs playlist. WIP, we want false. We never want this true, because if you put it to true, you will only be able to play the song in a limited mode. You will not be able to play it in the regular mode. If you want a background, which, I mean, we kind of do. I mean, it's pretty much required. So always have this. Image path is the path to that cover photo that I told you to create inside of the root folder for each playlist folder. It is anything you want it to be. You can name it cover, which is what I suggest you do. You can name it whatever you want. But this is why I said name it cover, because at this point we have everything we need for a playlist folder, and you need to duplicate this for every playlist that you have. So the simplest way to do that is to copy this first one that you just edited and put all this information in, and then simply go underneath it and paste it for however many times you need to in order to have one folder for section for each folder playlist you have. Then once you do that, the only thing you need to edit in the ones below the first one is the name, which you can simply put the name once, copy it, then come down and you need to change this, and I would just copy paste, and you need to change this, copy paste, and boom, that's it. You got your second one done. Then you would do that same method for every single one below it. And the way, if you did what I told you to do, you don't have to worry about this cover name changing. It's the same for every single one. So you don't have to edit this, and you don't have to worry about changing anything in the path except for the folder name, because the path is always the same except for the folder name. And if you name the folder the same exact name that you want the playlist to be, then you just have to put the name here, copy it, paste, paste, done. Do that for every single one, and you will have your XML file that Songcore will use to load your playlist. Once we have this, we are done. That's it. Congratulations. You have your playlist back. So go ahead, save this. I'm not going to save mine because mine's already correct. And then go ahead and load Beat Saber right now and get to the mode you want. So I always play party, so go into party if you want to do party mode. And wait for Songcore to load all the songs. It will take a while the first time you play because it will have to search through all these folders that you just told it to look into. And it will have to go through and create all the playlist with all the songs. But once you load it the first time and it goes through and finds everything, on subsequent loads it will be almost instant. It'll be pretty quick. But it will take a minute to load the first time because it has to go through all these folders. But that's it. You're done. You now have your playlist back. You don't have to touch these playlist files anymore because now everything is folder structured. Oh, and if you watch to this point and you don't want to do what this video says, and you didn't read the description where I did put that I created a program, hopefully you watched the video before doing all of that, because I did create a program that does all of that for you. So you don't have to do any of the stuff that I just outlined if you don't want to. If you trust me as a random stranger on the internet, I did go ahead and create a Beat Saber playlist mover that will actually move all the songs for you and create all the files and folders and do everything that I just outlined for you. So if you want to, you can go ahead and come over to GitHub, follow this URL. I will put it in the description so you don't have to type it. And it explains everything that it does, so don't worry. I do tell you what my program's doing. And it will go ahead and do everything for you. Yay! Good night.